Hey, everybody, it's the Dynamite Show. Paul Fontaine, Jeff Hawkins here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. An hour later than usual because it's September to remember, didn't you know? And did you notice, Jeff, that when they switched over, I don't even know if they switched over. When we went into the third hour, we didn't get what we normally get on shows like this, where they changed the announcers, they changed the apron, and it goes from Dynamite to Collision.
They changed the announcers, though, because Shivani stepped in for Taz.
Yeah, eventually. Not right away, right? Did he?
I believe
after the women's match, right?
I believe he did. I think the one thing though that I feel bad for the streamers, because I think the people who were watching on Max had theirs cut off and they had to relog in to come in and do Collision. I was watching on DirecTV, so I had no issue with
it. Mine was weird because I have on TSN, it's had Dynamite just the regular 2 hours. So I always have a 50-minute overrun set, and then it has a different show recording after that. But then like you have to go to USA Network for Collision. So I had to set a timer for that. And then what happened was, I guess TSN just at some point decided, oh, we'll just air the whole thing. So they actually did air it, but because I had only recorded the first 15 minutes, I had to go and switch. But it was just my PVR. It took like 2 seconds. But the picture I never noticed this before, and I've never noticed this with Collision, I guess. The picture on USA Network is way worse than TSN. I don't know why that is, but just is. It's less, it's not as defined. I'm guessing we're probably getting 1080 on TSN and it may be 780 on USA. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was something. So we'll get into the show. I will just say overall, I liked it, and I thought it was like one of their better go home shows.
I was about to ask you the same thing, and I am in agreement with you.
Okay.
I thought this was one of their stronger go home shows because they were concentrating on angles and stuff as opposed to.
And they hit on every match. I can't think of any match they didn't hit on. So that was good too, which they often don't.
Yeah, I think the weak part was actually trying to shoehorn in these tag teams into this 4-way as opposed to having them and then figuring out, okay, why does each want the title? I think that would have intrigued me personally a bit more. I understand people want their bangers.
You could have just announced the 4-way and then just had these matches anyways, because nobody for 1 second bought any of the teams that lost were going to win. So
I disagree.
Really?
I thought Top Flight was going to be put in as red shirts.
You're nuts.
No, it's a ladder match. Are you thinking, yes, you know who I want to see fly from a ladder? Josh Alexander and Etchesera.
No, those guys are bases. The Bucks are going to do all the flying. The Bucks and Bailey and Kevin Knight. You don't need everybody to fly. No, those losers.
Okay, hold on. No, I get that, but for a ladder match, if you have all 4 teams that can go off the ladder, then that is usually far better of a selling point than the flying headgear of Josh Alexander. I'm sorry. I love the Alexander and Etchesero team. I'm stoked for them. I think Etchesero may do something spectacular off a ladder because
and Bandito, Brody's probably gonna do something stupid off the ladder. Okay,
hold on. Who's gonna do the stupider thing, Bandito or Brody?
Brody.
Okay.
Brody's gonna go through.
He has size because he doesn't understand physics.
Brody is gonna go off the top through like 4 tables that are set up on the outside of the ring. I saw this spot. I don't know if you've heard about it. Apparently, it's somewhat famous. It was on a GCW show not that long ago. You remember Bear Bronson?
Yes.
Okay, so he's a singles now, and he wrestled Matt Tremont in a death match on the GCW. I don't know, it was like their 10-year anniversary show or something. They did this spot where they had a scaffold set up outside the ring, and it was about maybe 15 feet above the ring, and they had a table set up in the ring with glass tubes on it, and Matt Tremont, who is 340.
I know who he is. Yeah,
he tossed Bear Bronson off the scaffold,
the old
through the tables,
the Vic Grimes / Tony or Tommy Dreamer spot. Yeah.
So he throws him off there through the tables, to his death. Then he does a freaking Jimmy Snuka frog splash.
Nope, not taking that.
And he hit it perfectly. I cannot believe these two guys are alive. So I'm expecting something like that from Brody on Saturday.
When you say took it perfectly,
I didn't say take it perfectly. I say he did the jump perfectly. There's no way to take that.
No, I know. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking,
no.
Jim Cornette's rolling in his grave when Dusty said, now what he's going to do, he's going to catch you, baby. It's like, no.
Yeah, poor Bear Bronson. And then Bear Bronson gets up. His back is red. Like it's covered. He's had, no exaggeration, 250 light tubes cracked across his back over the course of this match. Like this was a death match. Like it was literally like a, so yeah, it was insane. But that closing spot, it was insane. So yeah, I expect something like that from Brody. But no, like I didn't think do you catch that interview that they did where like Scorpio Sky was like in the background trying to sneak his head into the picture? Like that poor dude.
I was looking for where's Layla Gray at? Come on,
she's
plugging her album or whatever.
Yeah. I think this is the first time they've been on Dynamite. So that's why I didn't think they were winning. It's not that they wouldn't have been good in the match. It's just like we never see these guys.
You think they're shopping Zillow for condos in Orlando? Just asking.
Yeah, if they're going to be on Evolve. No, I don't. Like I think WWE.
No, I was legitimately surprised. Maybe not everybody else was. I get they're losers, but I'm like, this is the ceremonial top flight spot. Is a spot in the four-way where they die for our entertainment, but yet do something spectacular, and one of them gets injured and is out for 9 months.
Well, I mean, if it was ROH, I would, for sure expect that. Yeah, but it's AEW, and they're not at that level anymore, unfortunately. But anyways, quickly before we get into the show, we did want to bring up our friend Andrade El Idolo, or whatever his name was. He got cut from a WWE, fired. I believe is the word. Yeah.
Yes.
With cause. Rumor was it was a wellness suspension.
It would not shock me.
Or wellness violation, I should say.
I'm gonna say this: when they fire these people for that, they're not firing people that who are making them money. Let's put it that way. There had to be something else in there too. To me,
kind of like,
unless it was.
I almost said something that would get me in trouble, and I'm not going to say it.
Let me renege this just a little bit. I don't know if he gets along with his ex-wife backstage or not. There are some drugs for which you should probably be let go for, and I don't know what he's into and what he's not. But my first thought was Randy Orton vitamins, but it's one of those things where they just kind of put that in your folder and go, whatever. Yeah, no, I agree with that statement. What you just wrote me
that's
too.
What I didn't want to say on the air.
Okay, cool. No, actually, I think that would be. I don't think that's offensive, but you might. I mean,
well, I just don't want to open up a political debate.
I completely understand. Don't worry about it. For those of you listening, we will talk about it later.
Yeah, but no, it's so. Anyways, he's been back and forth with MJF on Twitter all week, trying to get back to AEW. It sounds like, and I think that AEW would take him back. He left on good terms.
Yeah, he left on good terms. He had that fight with Guevara in the back, but it seemed like that's water under the bridge.
Well, and he's banished anyways.
Well, his best thing in terms of his biggest positive to AEW right now would be keeping Roosh and company satiated.
Yeah, well, they could put him on ROH, but then they'd have to put him in a group with Sammy. Or they could just leave him on AEW and he can, just have bangers.
Yeah.
If he joined the Callis family, like why not?
But I don't think he cares about bangers per se. He'll do them, but I think he just cares about being more of a star and making money. And
so maybe he could buy Darby then.
He and Roosh, yes. Where's your boss? I need that. I need a return to that. Yeah. I want to buy your kid.
Yeah.
My kid.
Yeah, he could join the Death Riders. He could join the Death Riders.
Oh God, no! I would love him as part of the Callis family, but there's too many of them. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, actually, what LFI needs is a strong, non-comedic guy to basically bring the serious.
Well, the thing, like, I don't know how much you've seen of it, but Sammy Guevara is amazing in that group. He's doing a thing where he calls himself everyone's favorite pillar, and he's being just like Shawn Michaels kind of 1997 babyface, which that's his wheelhouse. Like,
yes,
yeah, and Roosh is just the kick-ass guy, and the Beast Mortos has no idea what's going on. And
no, Fernando, you are so wrong.
Yeah.
If you saw El Sombra before he went originally and became Andrade, and I was at that NXT where he faced Gargano for the title, and my man, he was a star.
What was that match? What was that match on the debut Collision that he had? That was just freaking amazing. It was it him and was it Aleister Black? Or they had just a killer match on the very first Collision.
Because that's when they were putting all the people they were banishing from Dynamite over on Collision.
And Punk's friends, like,
was it Punk? It might have been Punk.
No, it wasn't with Punk. No, it wasn't with it, but it was it was a match that came out of nowhere, and it was just a crazy banger. They did like an injury tease where they spent the whole commercial pretending that they were tending to his injury. I remember that match, and Andrade was great in AEW.
I think LFI is a faction. I mean, maybe not Dralistico per se, but I think that's one of those groups, man, that you can just build.
Yeah. And there's a market that they're not tapping into for, like LFI groups like that. There's a reason why WWE always has a Latino group. Like there's fans that want to see their representation.
Well, somebody has to name drop Eddie and Ray in every promo.
True. Yeah. And the other thing he can badmouth WWE on social media, which they like to. Although he did thank them on the way out.
I think he's just a guy that will. I mean, look, he's not gonna. He burns bridges, but then he goes, "Sorry," and it's like, okay, how can you be mad at that?
Yeah. Can I help you build this bridge back?
I have the match you were thinking of. It was Buddy Matthews.
Oh yes, okay. Oh man, that was great. And they had some great matches in WWE too, actually. La Sombra would be great. Like, and he could do that gimmick. And that's the other thing is he can go back to CMLL, and I mean he'll be huge in CMLL.
Give me Andrade and Roosh as a team, and I'm here for it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into this show. They were in London. I didn't catch the crowd. It didn't seem like a very big building. I would guess it was maybe 2,500, but that's a complete shot in the dark guess. But it was nice to see them out of that ECW arena. We kicked off with Tony Schiavone in the ring and with a table, so it was a contract signing. Callis was getting a ton of heat. He reminded us that when he had the title, that Hangman was a guy that beat that useless Kenny Omega for it. He put over Kyle Fletcher as an all-time stud. Fans are chanting, "Shut the fuck up." Hangman reminds us of the stip from last week where no one can come out with him. Told him he sees potential in him, could carry the company someday. You're going to have to be the man that's worthy of it. At one point, he stumbled because I think he had a key line he was trying to get to, and he accidentally said it early, and then it kind of threw him off. I don't know. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did.
But okay. I'd have to go back and listen.
Yeah,
but that's possible.
And he said there's a new stip that has been added to the contract. If Don Callis or any other member of the family gets involved, Kyle will not only be DQ'd, but he'll be stripped of the TNT title as well. And Don was not happy with that stip. Kyle, on the other hand, didn't care. He said, "I would have taken any stip. I'm scared of nothing." He brought up, he named a couple crazy stips.
I would have crawled a mile through broken glass and still signed, I believe, is the one that.
And then I wanted to hear Annie Lennox.
God, that's a dad joke. Keep going.
He says he's the best professional wrestler to ever step in an AEW ring. Fans did not like that line. I think I heard some Ospreay chants. He vows to become the AEW Men's World Champion. I'm sure John LaRocca cringed at that one, but I liked it. He says he's better than Hangman in 2019. He's better than he was in 2021, and he's damn sure better than him right now. AEW doesn't need Hangman. They don't need Kenny Omega. So you can ride off into the sunset because the title and the company belongs to me. And he signed the contract. And then Hangman gets the contract and he says, I've been where you are now. You're going to be crushed after you lose on Saturday. Everything you have will not be enough. What you do with that feeling will define you for days and for years after. So don't disappoint me. And the camera cut over and Kyle actually seemed a little gotten to with that line.
Saw that.
Yeah. And then Hangman signed it. And then Kyle says, there's one more thing. I am a man of my word. No physicality during this contract segment. No interference this Saturday. And I'm leaving with both belts this Saturday. But tonight, I'm going to leave you beaten, bloodied, and unable to walk out of here on your own 2 feet. And he gets right in Hangman's face and he says, and after I beat you, you will say my full name, the proto star Kyle Fletcher, and he drops the mic and leaves. And I thought it was a good segment. Like they set the table for Saturday. I wasn't, put it this way, this made me more interested in the match than I was going in. So, that's a plus.
I thought Kyle Fletcher was amazing.
In a good way?
In a great way.
Okay, good.
I
want him to win. I don't think he's gonna, but I want him to.
No, but I'm watching him during this entire segment, even when he's not talking. I mean, he's doing the little cocky thing in the a very Tully Blanchard-esque thing in his suit while he's listening to Hangman. I think the problem with the segment a little bit was Hangman. Hangman does not give off alpha dog energy at all, ever.
Is Don going to interfere and cost Kyle his TNT title?
Well, they said nobody from the Callis family could interfere.
True.
So this feels like one of those things where like Takeshita comes out and costs, and he's technically no longer a member of the family because he left or whatever. It feels like one of those things.
No, but I'm thinking he actually does lose his TNT title as a result of something that happens.
Yeah,
and then you get that belt off of him because he's probably above that belt at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised, but then it gets into tension with Fletcher and Cass, and we're already breaking up the family again, and all we have is the B team. Unless we get Andrade back. No, but I loved his entire vibe, but it's one of these things, and it's funny because I was listening to this basically one of these YouTube documentaries that's a little fake and it's a little not, about Gene Hackman. And Hackman always thought in acting you needed one alpha dog in the scene to carry it, and the other guy follows your lead. And like they were talking about Crimson Tide, the movie that he did with Denzel. And Denzel was like, no, you need both guys to kind of bring that energy, to bring that tension type of a thing. And it kind of rubbed Hackman a little bit the wrong way. But in wrestling, you need the two alphas. And I just thought, Hangman playing mind games isn't the Hangman I want to see. I still want Hangman to be angry at taking out Kenny Omega a little bit. I still want him to kind of be on the Wyatt Earp revenge tour or whatever. I want him to say, I can't wait to get you in the ring to kick your ass, instead of, if you cheat, you're gonna be sorry. It's like, oh my God. And after this, I want Kyle to take the belt off of this loser.
I mean, when he was feuding with Hangman, when he was feuding with Moxley, when he was feuding with Swerve, when he was feuding with Punk, for sure, you believed that he hated this guy, and they wanted to end him.
Yes.
With Kyle, there's none of that. Like, you don't, maybe now, but it's too late. Like, with the thing. Now, you do get that feeling with Fletcher that he wants to get rid of this guy and he wants that belt. Like, not that he wants it, he deserves it. That belt is his. Hangman's just holding it for him.
I want Hangman for him to buy into that he is the best wrestler in this company.
Yeah.
And I am the champion. And not because I want to carry this company. I'm the champion because I'm the best here.
Because I'm the best.
And I can beat your ass at any day of the week. I'm going to beat your ass on Saturday. And that's all he has to really say. But instead, It's like Fletcher's on a couch lying down, and here comes Hangman with his pad and paper. So tell me about your feelings, Kyle. Do you feel like Don is Don a pseudo father figure to you right now? It's like, oh, I don't want a therapy session for my world champion. I just want the fight type of thing. And that was in the back of my head after this segment. It was second to Kyle Fletcher was just awesome in this segment.
Yeah, and I am looking forward to this match now. So there's that. Then Excalibur pitched to a promo, he says, with Darby Allin, and the first thing we see is Jon Moxley, and he's talking. But then it turns out it was like this back and forth videotape promo over highlights and just building up the match for Saturday. And it was all stuff we've heard before, but just burned into video package. It was a good video package.
It doesn't matter. The Darby pretentious art packages are always fun to watch.
Yeah, the key line was, he said Mox will put him. He said Mox will, or when he turned his back on Danielson, Mox put him in the ground. But if you want to burn AEW to the ground, don't be surprised when I pull you into the fire. So that was
and then something burned down. And you always, the thing, this is why I love Darby, is that there's always that sense that he's genuinely crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's what excites me the most about him, because you look at him and go, like, I remember my brother looked at him once and went, he looks like he should be skateboarding somewhere.
Well, I'm sure that's what he'd rather be doing.
Well, yeah, but this was, I think this was even without the skateboard. My brother looked at that and looked at him and goes, he looks like he should just be like skateboarding in the park or something, or going to like a Smiths concert or something. I go, yeah, but he's the craziest MFer on this roster type of a thing. And it's kind of what I love about him. I don't think he could ever be world champion, or he should be. I don't know. I went back and forth on this, if he should have been the guy to take the belt off of Mox.
Well, I thought he should have, but
but he's always he's must see for me. So I love him. Yeah.
So that was good. Then we go to Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong. Now this match, I'll get this out of the way. It's a good match. I want to tell this story. Okay.
Please do.
I had supper actually on last night with a good friend of mine who I've known for years. We don't get together nearly enough. It's like once a year now, and we said, like, we're probably going to try to do it at least once a month at this point, because we always have a good time. But anyways, so we're catching up, and I wanted to ask him about wrestling. And the last few shows I've gone to in Winnipeg, he's come with me. But the last time we went to an AEW show, he said, I'm not going back to an AEW show with you. Like, after this, like, I don't care if the tickets are free. It doesn't matter. So he's in and out on AEW.
I remember this guy vaguely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I asked him, I was like, are you still out on AEW? And he's like, yeah. He says, I try to watch it, and every time I watch it, I just get disgusted. And I'm like, oh, okay. Is he like talking about like, the death, like the stuff I get disgusted about, like the blood, just, and he's like, no. He's like, every time I turn it on, I see somebody that I don't really know against somebody that's a big star, and they just keep going on forever, and they wrestle and they wrestle and they wrestle. And I'm like, get to the fucking point. Like, I know the guy's winning. I said, I'm done. I don't have time for this shit.
Hold on, I know this guy. He lives in my head. Every week I'm watching.
And he's just like, I'm laughing, and then I'm like, and then I was like, oh, you mean like FTR against Tommy Billington? And he laughs. He's like, before I even get to the second name, he's like, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I was like, twice, and then
had to run it back because the match was really good. No, you don't.
No, you and really then don't. This match, I'm sure he would have been feeling the same way. And that's why I thought of my conversation with him, because it was Jon Moxley and Roderick Strong. Now, the thing here, other than the wrestling was good, the thing that pissed the hell out of me, and I don't know why they did this, they had Marina Shafir at ringside like she always is. Marina Shafir, if you don't know, is married to Roderick Strong. And they had a spot where Roddy goes to the outside and Marina stands in front of him to block him from Moxley. And all of a sudden, she's got this huge smile on her face.
She's corpsing like a madwoman.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is the most stone-faced person in the whole company. She never smiles. And here she is smiling. And then the announcers are laughing about it. And they're like, oh, maybe she's a little turned on or something. Or no, I think they
No.
said Roddy was.
Taz said maybe Roddy's a little smitten.
If infatuated was the word he used.
Okay.
And then it was just like, it was stupid. And then they just and this company that expects you to know everything, and not expects you, assumes that you know everything.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wanted to assume here that you didn't know. And meanwhile, poor Bryan Danielson is biting his tongue because I know he wants to say something and he can't, because they're not acknowledging the fact that these two are married for whatever reason. I don't know why, and you could make an interesting story out of it. And they just didn't. And then they went on, and Mox gave him a lot, and the crowd wasn't really into it because I think nobody bought for 1 second that Roderick Strong was going to win, and why would he? At one point, Roddy, they went back out to the thing, and Roddy got in there, and Marina was right in there, and he just kind of walked right past her and picked up Mox, and she just stood there. Didn't even, this time she didn't corpse, but she also wasn't her usual mean self. She's just like watching her husband. And then Kyle O'Reilly was out, and he starts brawling with Garcia. Roddy's running the ropes. He's about to hit him with the heartache knee or whatever he calls it. And Wheeler pulled his foot out. And then Mox hit the paradigm shift and the bulldog choke and got the win. Our friend Garrett likes to say that Moxley is the biggest badass heel outside the ring, but in the ring, he wrestles like a complete babyface. Well, not here. He happily took the cheating win here, like he should. And it was good.
Of those guys, I like Roddy Strong the most, but I was thinking after watching NXT Homecoming, just how ice cold the Undisputed Era has become.
Yes.
In AEW, and it's just amazing to me. I had half a mind that Kyle O'Reilly may join these new Death Riders just to shake.
I was like, they were my favorite act in NXT, like, and not just in NXT, in all of wrestling when they were in NXT.
Yeah, they were great. When they didn't start the bickering. Cool Kyle. Yes, doing the guitar thing. But when they were the Horsemen of NXT, they were virtually unstoppable. And now you watch them, and it's like you knew why Tony signed them.
Because he wanted to do the same thing, and it just didn't.
Because he wanted to do the same thing, and it didn't work, and you just put them up against other guys, and they look tiny.
Yeah.
And, Adam Cole gets injured, and then he does that dumb angle with MJF. It just was one of those things in the back of my head while I was watching this. I think, don't get Roddy into the screaming random names again, please.
Roddy could end up joining the group. I could see that because he's been teasing tension with Kyle.
He's a guy that is more a guy that is good leading a crew. Or a bad lieutenant, or the second in command who you never know if he's going to turn on you or not. I mean, it's one of those two things. But he's so much a better heel than he is a babyface to me. Not that he can't wrestle babyface. Oh, no, please don't do that. But it was just something that I was thinking about. The match was good. I thought Mox may have given him a little too much, but I enjoyed the chops, and I hated the Marina Shafir spot as much as you did.
Yeah, I did like the fact that Mox cheated to win. I did like that because that shows that he's he may have to do that against Darby. So I do like that.
Oh, no wrestling at a wrestling show. Well,
yeah, no, she's mocking my friend, and I'm sure most AEW fans would, and that's fine. He's mocking you too.
No, I don't. But I think it's a generational gap. I think it's something that Maria may not understand how people of our age grew up on wrestling, in that it was mostly squash matches, promos.
Yeah.
Do the hard sell for the pay-per-view or your local house show to go then buy the tickets. You didn't get quote unquote good wrestling on a wrestling show except for your TV main event. That was it.
And not all like younger fans want to see like just the wrestling, like
right.
He was talking about his son too, who is 17, and he just started getting into WWE, and he doesn't like AEW either. Now, maybe that's his dad's influence rubbing off on him, or maybe he likes the presentation of WWE where they show the stars, and it's not just wrestle. You're seeing angles, you're seeing promos, and when you watch wrestling, you don't necessarily just want to watch wrestling.
Yeah.
Some people
Otherwise,
do, and there's nothing wrong with
yeah.
that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. If it does, I
Yeah.
mean, and for a lot of people, if it doesn't have a fight feel, if it has the lucha libre or strong style feel where damage doesn't matter, then they're just kind of like going, well, I'm watching a very well choreographed thing. I'm not.
And some
really
people watch
watching.
that and they freaking love
Yeah.
it. Like Hechicero Dorada and whoever he wrestled tonight.
Mortos.
Yeah, that was great if you love that style. If you don't like that style, you're probably like, what the
It was dreadful.
This? Yeah. And I'm more the former. What I did today, like I woke up, I watched Adrian Street versus Mikey Betts match. And then I watched the PYTs against the Fabulous Ones. Then I watched an hour and a half of OVW wrestling.
Then how was PYTs versus the Fabulous Ones? Did you enjoy it?
It was fine. It wasn't the video quality wasn't very good. So
no.
Then I watched an hour and a half of OVW wrestling. Saw a great like tag team match where like the undercard team that was like had just come out of the training school beat the tag team champions. It was awesome. And then I watched the House of Glory show and I watched a Wrestling Revolver show. So I watched a ton of wrestling today. And and then I watched Dynamite. So, I like wrestling. My friend likes promos and angles, so that's cool.
I watched Bill Dundee versus Sweet Brown Sugar in a scaffold match.
Oh, great! And they're both still alive.
Bill Dundee is fantastic in these things because he has that circus performer thing in him where he can just hang from things and look like he may die. But scaffold matches always suck. So
they always suck. We got an MJF Briscoe video package that did not suck. There was a new voice that I didn't recognize narrating, and it made it sound like a movie trailer. So that was kind of different, and it was cool.
It might have been they've hired that person before to do those types of things, or at least movie trailer people. Yeah.
The key point here, if you missed Collision, was the stip that Mark Briscoe picked is a tables and tacks match. So that is the stip. He didn't put the contract on the line.
No, I'm trying to remember the thing. Was it Keith David again or no? I
didn't recognize the voice. So I don't think it was Keith David. No, I know Keith David. He's the guy that sounds kind of like James Earl Jones, right?
Yes.
It wasn't him.
Okay.
No. Okay. And then we went to an MJF tape promo about the stip, and he goes into Tony Khan's office. Now I want to say this. I was entertained through most of this, but there is no way this promo should have aired in the form that it did. So he goes into the thing, and the first thing you hear is Tony saying, "Hey, Max," and he said, "I'm not mad about not being able to execute my contract, whatever." He says, "But I'm not going into tables and tacks. I'm a real pro wrestler. I owe you nothing." And then Tony says, "The way you acted when it comes to Mark Briscoe, you violated the rules of AEW. You violated the integrity of the sport." And then MJF says, "Yeah, now you put your big boy pants on and decide to be a boss. If you don't watch it, I'm going to put another Briscoe in the dirt, and it'll be your fault." That last line should have been cut. There's no reason that should have aired. I'm sorry.
This bit stinks, and they've done it before where it's always Max walking into Tony Khan's office, and Tony Khan becomes the angry
boss, they did it with the Brochachos.
For laughs, yes. It doesn't work ever. He should not be a NPC. Whatever. I don't want Tony Khan on my TV. He is a charisma sink.
I don't like threatening that you're gonna kill the other brother.
That too.
That's what I didn't like.
I didn't mean to bury the lead, but yes.
Yeah. So that happened. Then we get to Bobby Lashley and Toa Liona. This was fun. Just two meaty men slapping meat. The fans were totally into Bobby. They were dead at first, and they totally got into it by the end because Lashley is actually a lot better wrestler than people give him credit for.
Bad men doing bad things is a fun match. That's all I want out of my wrestling.
Yeah, and Ricochet was at ringside, just bumping around like an idiot. MVP dropped.
By the way, Ricochet looks great in a tracksuit.
Oh yeah.
And that AEW, he looks slick in a tracksuit. He really does in that.
He is what Stokely wishes he could be.
Yes.
So he MVP was just kicking the shit out of Ricochet at ringside. Fans are going nuts for MVP. Lashley went after Bishop Khan, who tried to interfere. Benjamin super kicked him off the apron. Toa hit a pounce on Lashley. He kicks out. Fans are chanting, Bobby, Bobby. Lashley got him in the hurt lock. Danielson actually called it a full Nelson. Toa went to the ropes to try and break it, but Lashley wouldn't break, and Toa passed out and he got the win. And then they had a huge brawl after the match. Hurt Syndicate cleaned house by themselves. Ricochet sold like a mother. This was great. And like, nobody cares about this match, but I want to see it now. Like,
that shot by MVP on Ricochet was awesome.
Oh, the punch was great. The sell was great. It was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. The disembodied Tony Khan voice is Steinbrenner on Seinfeld. Yeah, that's what they're doing. That's totally what they're doing.
Not as funny.
But yeah, so yeah, I thought this was a win, and for a team
I liked it.
Probably on their way out. I like that they're actually doing stuff, and maybe they're not, and that'd be good too. I'd be fine with that.
If they are on their way out, I want to see the Gates of Agony made in that.
Yes. Yeah, everyone's expecting MVP is probably gonna take the pin, but if they're leaving, it should be Lashley. Like they pointed out here that Lashley has not been pinned in AEW, so it should be Lashley taking the pin if they're gonna lose. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Then we got Tony Schiavone in the ring, brought out Adam Copeland. He had his Rated R Legends shirt on. Fans sang his song. Then Christian comes out and he does his pose on the apron that he always does, and then on the ropes, and then Adam joins him and he's like mocking Christian almost, and it was weird. Then they brought out FTR and Stoke says there's heavy fines for any physicality here tonight. Fans booed. Stoke stole the mic. He says $100,000 either of you are going to be fined if you touch Dax or Cash, and if you touch me, it's $500,000, and I'll get that match canceled. So you, your wife, and whatever 2 brain cells she has left are going to see what you do best and disappoint. And then he hands the mic off to Cash. Cash goes into their life story. You brought me into this business. We became friends when you came to my gym. You were a mentor. You gave me advice. Said I'd give you opportunities, but you got to kick the door down. So 10 years later, we became the best tag team of all time. We kicked it down, became living legends. We helped you get your career back. You came back here to help us? No, it became the Cope Show. We do all the work, and we're the supporting cast. We helped you get your career back, but Saturday, we take it for good. And then Dax says, I'm not going to yell or scream. You were the best tag team in the world. If we're being honest, it's because the competition were 2 mediocre teams that carried your dumb asses. For 11 years, we've carried tag team wrestling on our back. We're a generational tag team. We've had classic matches for over a decade. He mentions these team names.
Big Bill and
Enzo.
and look, let me say something. That match over-delivered, I believe.
Big time. But he actually mentioned it. Gable and Jordan. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, who just wrestled the night before on NXT. The Young Bucks, but
remember the Ciampa and Gargano last night did a shatter machine in tribute in that match. So there's no anima. There's a lot of love letters being sent in wrestling right now with the John Cena thing and everything. So
I'm sure both those teams would love to wrestle each other again at some point in either company.
I'm sad we won't get to see Gable and Jordan ever again, but yes.
Yeah. So 10 world champions and 7 brands, and we're a 1-of-1 tag team. For you guys, it's a dream match, and in another life, it might have been. And then he was about to keep going on, and Cope just grabs the mic from him. He says, shut the hell up. It's time for you to listen. And he says, Stokely, you know about disappointment. That's why you get no hose. And he said, you get Beth's name out of your face, or she'll slap the lips off your stupid head. You broke this friendship up. Said, you were homeless. I got you hired. I let you stay in my apartment. I wanted to come here and work with you. You say you were in my spotlight? Well, that's because they don't want you in the spotlight. They wanted me. You're the best team in the last 11 years, one of the greatest of all time. Well, get back to us when you've been doing it for 25 years like we have. We revolutionized tag team wrestling. We made it important. We created a match that turned into a pay-per-view. Now on Saturday, 2 of the greatest teams of all time in our hometown, in our country. While you're begging for mercy, you'll understand why there's only one Cope and Cage. Christian stops him. He says, Cage and Cope. And
Okay, hold on. Stop here. Because no, you're laughing. And
you're going to make the same point I was going to make. Go ahead.
I don't think I liked this. I understood it. It's the Adam Copeland instinct to throw in a joke to lighten the tension.
Yeah, even the stuff about Stokely and the hose.
Well, no, the Stokely and the hose thing is fine because it's a punchline to the first stanza in his promo. This was, we are now building the fight promo, and Cope has to get his Jim from the Office off look crap going, which is what it is. Nove pointed that out to me. The uncomfortable silence of Christian throwing in a joke here. I didn't like it here. I'm sorry. For me, I understood and I went, oh, baby, I was vibing to this thing. And then you interrupted it with that because I was waiting for Christian to grab the mic and then say, shut up and let me do my business. And then
I know, I was so waiting for that line and he didn't do it. So I was actually like that he didn't do it. He called Dax a piece of shit and he said, on Saturday, you'll understand why we're better than you. And then Christian grabs the mic and he says, London, Ontario, $100,000 is a lot of money. $500,000. He says, you might even be able to get some hose with that. No, so that part I didn't mind. It was Cope bringing up the hose in the first place that I thought was, it didn't fit the tone of the promo. I was actually really into Dax and Cash, and then Cope made it comedy. So, anyways, he said London.
$500,000 could get you some hose, though.
It could, especially in London. It says that London, at the risk of sounding like an asshole, he says $100,000, $500,000. That doesn't mean a damn thing to me because I'm rich. And he hit Dax with the mic and started a brawl, and that was great.
And he stiffed him with that mic. I don't know if Dax was because he hit him with the bottom of the mic, I think, instead of the top, and just scraped him right there.
He either broke his nose or.
Oh yeah, no, you can see you can see it didn't go correctly because Dax was like. It was not happy with that shot.
No, and the brawl didn't last too long. They sent out a bunch of people, but they didn't need to because Dax wasn't going to be brawling.
This part was bad too. They start brawling and killing all the security guys, and then they're kind of like dancing around the choreography of not seeing each other to be able to attack.
Ed speared that one dude, and there was nobody. Like, that poor dude wasn't doing anything. Like,
and then the security hold them back. If I were security, I'd say, "Nah, go ahead, you jerks. I don't need this crap. Yeah, let me know when you're unconscious, and then we'll drag you."
But when they finally separated them, and you had that Dax with the blood coming off him, and that
that was good.
That was money. Really good. That was money. Yeah. So again, a great build for the match. This has been easily the best built thing on the whole show. Like, no question. Like,
I'm going to ask a question.
I'll say no.
Do you know what it is?
Is this going to be the main event?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's no longer. There's no way it's now not the main event, even though.
No, I think it's going to be. I think it's Hangman and Fletcher is the main event. But
yeah, it will be. Yeah. Is Beth Phoenix going to come out and get rid of Stokely somehow?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
Yeah, okay. I think so. Renee earlier today was backstage with Matt and Nick. She congratulated them on winning money. She was very, very nice to them. And they paid her for it later. So Nick says, we're back. We paid off all the production, and the entrance today is going to be a lot more special. And then Matt points out that he lost half his money at the casino. He says, Matt says, tonight is the beginning of our redemption tour. We're going to be the first ever 4-time AEW tag team champions. Nick reaches into the bag and he hands Renee a stack of bills, tells her it's $10,000. It's not Canadian, it's real US money. And they leave, and Renee is like counting the money and she's all happy. And this was dumb.
So they didn't retcon it.
No.
Like I thought they might.
Yeah. No. And I thought when they brought that bag out there, like it was like Chekhov's bag. Like it was.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
I mean,
I think it's still going to be Chekhov's bag eventually.
Yeah, at the pay-per-view probably. Maybe they're gonna throw the money to the crowd. Maybe the people at the pay-per-view will get some money back.
Well, they hit during the match when Knox did the money throw spot.
Yeah, and then they got all their money back at the end, which was funny. So they come out for their match. They got their actual entrance, with the Succession music, and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson is their name again. And they got their money, and they put the money in the corner. And then we got the match. It was the Young Bucks against Colton and Juice. And they went through a break on this one as well. Like all the matches tonight were long, I think. And the crowd was dead after the break, but then they kind of got into it. The weird thing here was like every time the Bucks went on offense, like the crowd boos the Bucks, but they also cheer them. And they didn't really care much about the Juice and Colton, but the Bucks are so good at doing these matches that eventually they got the crowd into Juice and Colton's like false tags and false finishes and stuff. There was one spot where they went for a Meltzer driver, and Austin, right? Was that the guy that was wrestling? Or was it? I always get them mixed up. Austin hit a flatliner.
No. It was Colton Gunn, wasn't it?
No, it was Austin. It was Austin.
Okay, never mind.
So he had a flatliner in midair, and then Juice hit a Blade Runner, and Matt kicked out. And I've noted that there was no reaction because nobody really thought that they were going to win. Then Juice hit a Rana, he gets rolled up. Juice countered it. Nick countered that, got a 2. Then they hit a Meltzer driver on Juice and got the win. And at one point in this match, Matt tried to bribe Bryce Rensburg, handed him a big stack of bills, and Rensburg, idiot, he's not Renee, he's got integrity, and he threw the money, and the money went all flying, and then after the match, they scooped it all up and put it back in the bag. So I think they got most of their money, maybe not all of it. So Curryhead says you'll have to watch BTE to understand that joke from Matt. I'm not watching BTE. Most people aren't watching BTE, and that's why they shouldn't be doing this shit on Dynamite.
I feel the same way. It's the Donnie Darko thing. I shouldn't need a website to explain your movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was my problem with what was that FX show? That was fucking weird.
American Horror Story?
No, I love American Horror Story. It's another one. I'll never think of it, but there was this one show, and I didn't understand anything that happened on it, and I had to go to the web, and then it was like, why am I doing this? And then I stopped watching the show. No. It was more recent than that. It was like maybe 5 years ago. It lasted 2 seasons. It was just a weird show. I'll look it up at some point. I'll tell you. But so this was and again, this built obviously the pay-per-view because Young Bucks qualified for the ladder match. And I thought it was good. Any thoughts?
How old are the Young Bucks? 38, 39?
Not so young. I think they're 4 years apart. So I think one of them just turned 40, so the other one's probably 36, 37.
Man, let me tell you, this is about that age where you're looking at those ladders and going, flat back bump.
Yeah.
Especially Matt, who used to have a working yet legit back injury, which I'm just
okay. Forever.
Yeah, I'm watching that and going, all right. So who's taking those? And I'm just going, everybody then turns to Hechicero.
Legion was the show.
Oh yeah, the old Marvel thing. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know it was a Marvel thing, so that was part of the problem. So I enjoyed the match. I just didn't like some of the shenanigans that surrounded the match, but I am intrigued as to what's going to happen with the money. I can't lie. I saw people that were really happy that they finally showed someone doing something with the money that they won. The problem with that is the storyline is that the Bucks are the ones that are paying the money. So the only team that they actually show spending the money is the one team that already had the money to begin with. That's what doesn't make sense. So they never should have done that stupid angle where the Bucks are responsible for paying out the prize money because they're no longer EVPs. That was a stupid idea.
Well, one of two things happens. Either somebody takes the bag and runs, and that gets the Bucks out of the match, or they do the old school thing where the bag somehow gets attached with the titles, and maybe somebody gets the bag, but the other team gets the titles.
Or could it be as simple as they try to hit somebody with the bag, and the money goes flying?
Yes, Chekhov's bag will be paid off eventually, though.
So they did a promo for something called the Tornado Tailgate Brawl that is going to be happening during 0 Hour.
Hell yes!
Willow Nightingale, Mina Shirakawa, Harley Cameron, and Queen Aminata, and against Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. So the baby faces did, they just did all their wacky catchphrases. And I think Harley said they're bringing the pain and the crazy. And then we get Sky Blue and Julia Hart standing there holding hands and
doing the Shining thing. Yeah.
Doing the Shining. They're doing a promo and they're reciting the lines together. I will say, like, I don't know how many times they had to practice this. However often they did, it worked, because this should not have worked as well as it did. Like, if you
and then Bane and Penelope doing their bow down thing or whatever. It's like it was a cool juxtaposition. I am here for this match.
Yeah.
Because again, this thing is going to be absolutely stupid and fighting for Mina Shirakawa in a hardcore match, probably fighting her gear at the same time.
Mina's done a lot of hardcore, and I'm not sure she's done very many hardcore matches. So
not with these people. This is going to be. No, I went because I don't want to get scolded by the power bombshells.
All right. They don't listen.
I've gotten in trouble with people before. For indulging your stuff, and then they blame me because I'm the bad guy.
Because you're the star. That's why. It's like when Vinny says something stupid and Brian gets blamed for it.
But yes, I wept tears of joy. I have #blessed.
Oh,
I am here for this match.
Okay.
So I may not even watch the pay-per-view. I may just watch this match.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing for Saturday. Like, I'm gonna get the show, but and I will watch the pre-show, but I may not watch. I probably won't finish the show because I may be going to my friends to watch the WWE show. So if I do that, then I'll get through as much of All Out as I can. But
I think mine might be because my football season's over.
I know.
Still,
Jeff Burrow's rest in peace.
John Burrow, please, if somebody can donate a toe, I'd love it. So this maybe get pushed to Sunday or my afternoons type stuff because I got Nerd Bowl with Virginia and Stanford playing.
Right.
So I think we'll see.
Virginia's always good for a laugh.
Oh yes, they are.
Beast Mortos and Mascara Dorada. We talked about this a little bit earlier. This was if you've ever seen a CMLL lightning match, that's what this was. I didn't see the time, but those matches have a 10-minute time limit and they just go balls to the wall, doing every move under the sun as much as they can get in 10 minutes. And sometimes you get a finish and sometimes you don't. And that's what happened here. And
so somewhere in the San Jose area, Dave Meltzer had his footy pajamas on, a bowl of Fruit Loops with some milk. And he's the happiest boy alive.
So it was great. I didn't even recap everything. But I will say Excalibur reminded us here, which was smart, that Kyle promised to leave Hangman in a pool of his own blood by the end of the night. So, stay tuned, everybody. That was smart. That was good. We got Lucha Libre chants through this match, and there's just like nutty things. They both hit tornillas. They put up tweets during this match. I think it was the only time all night. And that was probably one time too many.
No, there were two, but
was there? Okay, this was the only one I noticed. Mortos did a 1 count kick out at one point, and then Dorada hit a counter. And the thing is, like, they're hitting these moves so fast, like even Excalibur couldn't call them. Like there was just too much, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. There was just so much going on that you just had to watch it. And he ended up hitting a shooting star press for the win. Dorada did, so he pinned Beast Mortos. And immediately I was like, oh, okay, Dorada's losing on Sunday. Because this match was to see who gets to take the pin during the 4-way at the unified title match.
Dare I say, yes, no, I agree with you. And dare I say there might be a chance this is a double pin on Dorada?
Oh, maybe like Okada and Takeshita?
Yes.
Yeah. So after the match, Okada comes out and he gets into a stare down with Takeshita, who also came out. And then Dorada did a dive, took out Okada. And then he gets his own stare down with Takeshita. And
Okada did not look like he enjoyed taking that.
No, Okada's like, yeah, I'm not. You can do your dives, but do them onto somebody else. I'm not catching you on Saturday. And yeah, it was this match was great. Some people would think it was the best match on the show, and I might agree. Like, I actually had 3 matches that I give the same rating to on this show. So whichever one you like better, I'm not going to fight you too hard on it.
Not my thing, but I'm a Beast Mortis fan.
Yeah, like it's not going to be for everyone. So then we got a Toni Storm promo, and she calls herself the whore you all adore, the slut you can't rebut, the trollop you can't wallop, the skank you want to spank, and the tramp that's still the champ. I thought that I had no problem with any of this. It was good. And then she said,
I didn't, but still, I did. So
it was pretty tame by Tony standards. So she says, I'm the champ, but I don't know for how long. I won my baby back 7 months ago. I live every day like it's my last day. I've slain beasts, belt collectors, and forever champions, and I've loved every single disgusting, sweaty, bloody, sexually questionable second of it, because AEW is where the best wrestle. If you won't put your life on the line, you ain't shit. There's 3 women worthy of this mantle. If it's the end of my reign, the crowd boos, then it's been the honor of my life. So ladies, if you really want to take my title, I suggest you burn my body to the ground, pack my ashes into a pipe, and then you take a big fat puff, because nobody will get you as high as I can, darling. Now, I should point out,
this is a long way to go for a metaphor, Tony, but I get it, and it's fun. Although
I should point out,
hold on, stupid comedy, Jeff. Really want her to. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
100%. Or going into the other, like, the song, whatever the
the Chili's baby back.
No, the baby got back.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I should point out, she's doing this promo on the stage. The area around her is blackened, and there's a single spotlight on her. Mm-hmm. So Jamie Hayter shows up and gets into the spotlight, and ironically
I liked this staging.
Yeah, the staging was good. Ironically says, I'm not a fan of the spotlight, so go ahead and keep it. It won't look so good without the title, will it? It's been a long time since you and I have been together in the ring, and you forgot some stuff. Remember 3 things. I don't forget. 2, you invited me into this match, and 3, Hayter hits hard. And then Chris Statlander shows up and jumps into the scene as well.
I did not like this stage.
No.
But go ahead.
She says, I don't have a claim to this. I haven't wrestled for the belt in 4 years, and I realize it's because neither of you have the ovaries, but you can't stop Stat. So that was lame.
I yelled, it's because your rating's death. But that's okay. That's me.
Yeah. Then Tony says, and this
actually not ratings death, TV death is what I actually yelled back at the TV. I actually yelled at the TV.
So Tony's response to this is, well, then trim your bushes, bitches.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going all out, and it's going to be. And she gets interrupted by Tekla's music, and a bunch of refs come out with her. Chris Statlander and Jamie Hayter disappeared off the face of the planet, and Tekla then made her way to the ring because it was your Dynamite main event. Tekla against Queen Aminata in a no-holds-barred match. So
I wept tears of joy.
Okay.
I love this match.
I'm not surprised.
Tekla is my brand of crazy in every lovable wrestling way. She is just game for whatever, and she never lets go of the bit. Aminata is crazy.
I'm not sure she realizes pro wrestling is a work.
Same. I love that for her. Oh wait, I have to go fight her, and then she proceeds to actually fight her.
Yeah.
Match of the year.
I literally, I took almost no notes. This is literally what I wrote. Wild match. Tekla won with a stomp onto a chair, kind of came out of nowhere. Danielson was really good in here. They brawled all over the place. That's literally all I wrote. But I watched the match and I loved it.
I had our conversation from a few weeks ago where you go, Jeff, do you remember why you like the Hot Women's Hardcore division?
Yeah.
And I said, because it's a fight and they're actually fighting for their lives because they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This was another one, and it was gorgeous and beautiful and everything I love about this. Should have been in the ECW arena. This was the hardcore match.
This should have been the Tony Storm Sky Blue match.
Yes, like, the hell with those two. Yeah. They're actually trying to be kitschy and do cutesy spots. Give me the two women killing each other.
This was New Jack and freaking, Eric, the school bus dude or whatever, yeah.
This is mass transit.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Let's not quite, go there. Not quite. But and it's weird because this brings me so much joy. This is what I want to see in wrestling. When Tekla came out in jeans, I went, hell yes.
Yeah, and tan to the guild, and she doesn't care.
And then Aminata comes out in her weird cutoff jean shorts. I go, you tried. Let's get this on. Yeah.
And they proceeded to beat the crap out of each other. They brawled all over the place. It was wonderful.
And they must like each other because you can't. Because you remember that first time we saw them get together and Aminata beat the absolute living piss out of her. And we're just like, oh man, Tekla's going to get those receipts and she's never going to work again with her. Here comes this crazy Austrian coming out, just going, let's keep working together week after week after week. And they so I was back and forth with a friend and sent me, and it's not a Dean. And Aminata versus Tekla effing rules. Yes.
I'm not done yet, but I love them beating the shit out of each other. Yes. I liked how it went from did she have a problem with her in the first match to now they're wrestling each other a bunch and having great matches. Yes. So perfect. That was Larry.
Were those from me? Oh,
no, it was Larry.
Larry and I finally agree on something.
Yes,
then.
Yes.
Write him back on that and tell him.
My only issue is, and this has happened every week. Why can't it just be Tony and Tekla for the title? Like that's the match I want to see. Like
matchup. Although, boy, I'm kind of here for Jamie Hayter and Tekla in something.
And even actually Jamie and Tony would be fun too. But
yeah.
So Tekla gets to do a promo after, and she says, "Stop looking because your end is right here," and the delivery on this was outstanding.
And I believed her.
Yes. And Tony interrupted her. They start brawling. So Tony gets the best of it. Out comes Jamie Hayter and Statlander. Okay, so Jamie Hayter came through from the apron or from the ramp, but Statlander came through the crowd, which is interesting because that's where the Death Riders come from.
Jamie did not come from the ramp. She came from the broadcast area, I believe.
Oh, did she? Okay, but she didn't come from the same place as Statlander did.
Correct.
So Statlander pulls Jamie off of the apron, and they started brawling. Tony is just beating the living hell out of Tekla. So hell of a babyface here, who's beating on someone that just went through a hardcore match. Sky Blue and Julia Hart show up to make the save. Wheeler comes out of the crowd, but Marina gets in between him and Stat. The heels are 3-on-1 on Tony in the ring, and Tony ends up clearing the ring by herself.
Go ahead. I'll add my note in.
Danielson reminded us that Saturday it's no DQ, so the women can get involved all they want, which is like, oh great. Tony made her own comeback. Tekla bailed. Then Hayter gets in the ring, and she's about to hit Tony with the Haterade, but Tony stops and gets in her face. The refs are out to separate them. And freaking Excalibur says, oh, she wants Tony at 100% on Saturday. Really? So why was she just about to hit her with the clothesline before she turned around? These announcers are doing more to get me not interested in the match than this awesome angle the women are doing in the ring. So that was my negative on that. But the actual work by the women was phenomenal. All around. Everybody.
Two things. Number one, you remind me because this was a thought. I remember I was in Las Vegas. Not when Full Gear, I believe, was in Sacramento that year. When you had the Tony Storm Jamie Hayter match and how hot Jamie Hayter was at the time and how big of a deal Tony Storm was. And boy, Jamie Hayter is also freezing cold in a way. Still love her. But man, I howled when Julia and Sky pull Tekla out of the ring by her legs, and she thudded on the ground, and you hear, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because
I laughed my ass.
Because I think they're getting beat up when they get to the back. Tekla's gonna kick the shit out of these two.
Tekla's gonna kill those fools.
Yeah,
and I'm here for. I want to see that too.
Yeah. Tekla is awesome. Like,
she's so my vibe for a pro wrestler.
Yeah. This was like really, really good. I got no issue with any of this stuff that they did with the women here, other than, like I said, I wish it was a one-on-one, but there's some other stuff going on. You know, I really don't want to see Statlander in the freaking Death Riders, but I don't know. I guess we'll see what's going to happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Alicia, actually, it's funny. I wrote down some woman was interviewing Skyflight, and then Darius called her Alicia. So I was like, okay, that's Alicia. Like, I never recognize her because she's hardly ever on, and they never identify her.
And you get her mixed up with Arcadia all the time too.
Correct.
She's on
correct. Yeah, because they have similar looks, and they started around the same time. Anyways, apparently Darius thinks they're on a roll. I watched the show, dude. You're not. And he said the sky is no limit for us. And yeah, okay. And then Hangman shows up to interrupt. He steals their promo. He says, you got the Callis family tonight. I've been dealing with them for a while. Look out for them. There's like 3 dozen of them, and they're multiplying. And Daniel says, yeah, we got this, but you take care of Kyle Fletcher at All Out.
This was shit. I'm sorry. I hated this.
Wasn't Hangman the one who retired Daniels?
Yes, and that's what they were playing off of. Is he's sorry for that? But it's like, good luck, guys. Good luck to you too, Hangman.
No. And Scorpio Sky, poor guy, is like supposed to be the leader of this team, and he's in the background between Daniels and Dante Martin, trying to sneak his head into the shot. It's so funny. If you didn't notice it, go back and watch it.
Oh no, I saw it. I figured, does he need to get on TV to get his check? Because that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and who knows where Layla could have been behind those guys for all I know. But more likely she wasn't even around.
You would have seen
but this was all basically just to tell you, without telling you, that stick around for the main event, because that's where you're going to see Kyle Fletcher lay out Hangman. So that's when I figured out what the main event was going to be. I saw people in our Discord asking is the Riho match going to be the main event? Yeah, I don't think Robin Renegade is going to be in the main event, guys. Sorry. I'll have more to say about Robin Renegade when we get to that match. And it's not really about Robin Renegade, to be honest with you. So the next match was Killswitch and Nick Wayne against Jet Speed. Again, like, went through a break. Fans got into it as it went, but nobody had, like, there's no doubt who was going to be winning this match. Announcers claimed that the crowd was behind their fellow Canadian Mike Bailey while they're chanting Luchasaurus. And Killswitch at some point got upset with Kip Sabian, and he jumped off the apron, and then they left him alone. Got hit with a spinning crescent kick from Speedball, and Speedball got the win. Mama Wayne was crying. Killswitch left without them. Mama said you were right about him. And so Jet Speed qualifies for the 4-way. It's now the Bucks, Jet Speed, and the winners of the main event against Berdito. I should also point out, they announced this 4-way ladder match on Saturday, and I was wondering, okay, we have a tournament, quote unquote, where there's 3 qualifying matches to get into the unified title match, including the champion who has to win a match to get in. For the tag titles, we have a 4-way with 3 qualifying matches, but this is not a tournament. This is just qualifying matches to get into the title match, even though it's the exact same thing. And the champions in this case don't have to qualify. They're just in the
match. We know Tony Khan has an office. All these people, or all these champions, should be storming it and yelling at him for this.
Yeah. Why didn't I get a qualifying match? Or why do I have to wrestle? Okada should have been like pissed.
Why do I have to fight 3 other teams for a tag team title?
Yeah, there you go. But no, they're happy to get their checks. Then we are joined in progress with a backstage interview with Big Bill. He was like in the middle of a sentence when they got to him. And he's facing Eddie Kingston on Saturday, but he doesn't think Eddie's going to show up. He says, I don't blame you for not coming here because this country's an international embarrassment, but it's deeper than that. You've been on your couch. Well, I've been on the run of my life. Another one. It's like, I'm watching the show. He says, I've been cracking the skulls of anyone and everyone. There's people everywhere saying I don't belong in the ring with you. I'm like, who are these people? Because I'm not seeing it. He says, you don't belong in the same ring as me. If you show up, you're going to get exposed as a fraud. I'll see you Saturday, or will I? Then he walks away, and Brian Keith stays there, and he waits, and he's about to leave, and then he stops, and he looks at the camera, and he says, fraud, and he walks away. So that's
the most underused team in AEW. I love these guys. Eddie Kingston is going to have a massive pop in Toronto.
And Big Bill.
Massive.
Big Bill
to die.
Put that guy over like something else. Big Bill is awesome.
Love Big Bill.
I love Big Bill too. And Brian Keith. You notice on Raw, Xavier Woods is slowly turning into Brian Keith.
Yes. Yeah. Brian Keith should be suing Xavier Woods for gimmick infringement.
Oh yeah. And he's even doing like where he doesn't wrestle and he just shows up at ringside for his buddies' matches.
With wacky hats. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, this segment. Earlier today, Bryan Danielson sat down with Darby Allin. He asked him why he climbed Mount Everest. And Darby says, I felt like I was living my life for someone else. And they showed highlights of him climbing the mountain. He says, I want to remind myself what I'm capable of. He says, there's snakes and liars and politicians in wrestling. You know what I'm talking about, Brian. But when you're climbing Mount Everest, there's none of that. He says, all you have is your word. I told people I'd summit Mount Everest. I thought I was going to die. And they showed clips of him and he like looked like at times like he was crying. And he said, I saw lots of bodies. He says, but I wouldn't turn around. I promised that I would hang the AEW flag on top of the fucking world. And I did it. And then I thought of John's word. He's like, he considered you family, didn't he, Brian? Look what he did to you. Said, my uncle gave me his word, told me that I'd be safe when I got in a car with him. And then he crashed his car because he was drunk. And he died and I lived. And he gave me his word. So I'll never turn my back on my family. Take Sting. I'd never turn my back on him. And then Danielson says, going back to Mox, are you ready? Darby's like, I don't know. I don't. And then he says, but I want you to do something for me, Brian. Give me your word. Whatever happens out there, don't get involved. Because what happened at Wrestle Dream, I hold myself accountable. It's not your fault. Your career's over, Brian. So give me your word that you won't interfere in my match. Do not step foot in that ring no matter what happens. Because my word means as much to me as yours does to you. And Danielson says, I promise I won't get involved. Shake his hand, but promise me one thing. Darby's like, yeah, whatever. And Danielson whispers something in his ear. Darby kind of looks at him. He's like, okay, you got my word. And they shake hands. So I think Danielson said to him, save a piece for me.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
Yeah. So
or beat the holy hell out of him, or put a plastic bag over his head, or something.
But this was I mean, it was interesting. They finally got there, but it took a little while.
I watched that social media thing that he did from Everest when he when he passed the bodies, and he was obviously very, very affected by it.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see it.
And me being dumb, I'm like, well, why don't they just clean up the bodies and stuff? It's like, no, dummy, it's a mountain. They can't do that. Okay, yeah true. Yeah. But I liked this a lot. And there's a little bit disjointedness. It's one of those things where you're a little off because Darby's not cheating out to the camera a little bit. He's actually
like just having a conversation with his buddy.
He's like, yeah, he has the 90-degree look looking directly at Brian, which I think works for him in a way, but it's also a little bit off-putting. But no, I like
it. Helps you believe what he's saying when he's not talking to the camera and when he's talking to the guy he's actually talking to.
It actually was feeling very real until he started and what about your career, Brian? It's like, okay, now we're going into this stuff.
Yeah.
But I liked it. But I still liked it. It was still very good.
So we got Riho versus Robin Renegade. And Mercedes doing commentary. Now, what I referred to earlier is I saw people they're like, oh, we're finally gonna get the Renegade Sisters as part of Team CEO. Every fucking time Robin Renegade shows up on Dynamite or Collision to job to somebody, I have to hear this. Where are people getting this?
Fightful was hinting at it today.
It's not happening. It's not happening. She's a jobber. Mercedes is not hanging out with jobbers. I'm sorry. So whatever. They had a match. It was fine. Charitably, it was easily the worst match on the show, but it wasn't meant to be anything other than that. Robin was in control after the break. Crowd was dead. Riho hit a crucifix out of nowhere and got the pin. I had nothing to add. It was fine. Barely.
I'm not on the Riho train. I wasn't when she was champion. I think most of her offense are people throwing their legs out from themselves to take those cross bodies and stuff. I'm like, okay, she's fine. I don't see what Kenny saw in her, but other people do. So good on her. I wish she had real gear. That's all I keep thinking.
How awesome would a Mercedes against the babyface Nyla Rose match be?
Oh God. Well, the problem with Nyla and I've seen a lot of people banging for it is that there are state governments that if they treat wrestling as a sport can't sanction
can't wrestle,
it,
which that
right.
sucks. But it's worse since the Orange Goblin got elected. Pardon me, I shouldn't have said that. Edit that out. Okay.
No.
So after the match,
I'm not the biggest Trump guy in the world.
Okay.
That's either. So don't worry about it.
All right. After the match, Mercedes gets up from the desk and she's having a stare down with Riho. And Robin grabbed her legs so that Mercedes could give her the bank statement, but then she just bailed. So I don't like. Yeah, I guess maybe you could sense from that Mercedes and Robin are working together, but I don't know.
Where was the other? Well, then the other twin would have been there too.
Yeah, and she's injured or something. So I don't know. I mean, if Mercedes likes this woman and wants her as part of her team, I guess there's no harm in it. But it is so beyond Mercedes' character to be hanging out with jobbers. It's such a
WWE stable where like you have the star and then you have the red shirts, and I don't. Yeah,
and they bring her down. That's the problem. Like her on her own.
She was down tonight, anyways. It was weird watching that because the audience was already tired. That audience did not pop that hard for her.
No,
I do like. She's now that she's dating Morto, she is now in her Hispanic phase.
Yeah.
In terms of costuming. I kind of liked the look.
Yeah, she was wearing like a cantina dress, kind of.
Yes, very much so. And but she came off cold on this. Like everything on her commentary felt so unnatural to me.
Yeah.
And it's not, and she's never been a great promo, but she was
actually trying to be like an analyst as opposed to like
had her lines because it's like Excalibur just brought up that Riho was the first women's world champion, and now Mercedes has in her diatribe went and she was the first AEW women's champion. It's like it was running lines instead of actually connecting on lines. It was very, very weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that their match will be fine on Saturday. This, like in terms of build to a match, this was probably the weakest, but I mean, it wasn't a negative. It just wasn't. It didn't really do anything to get me more excited. I'll say. No,
I would agree. Let's get through this and get to the preview then.
Yeah, a video package for Jerry Lynn getting the Acclaim back together on Collision.
F that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being the New Age Outlaws, guys, but they're not good as single stars.
No. And Jerry Lynn is not the person to be giving people advice on being stars.
Charisma vacuum, Jerry Lynn.
Then we got a Death Rider tape promo on the Ops, and Garcia challenged Shibata, I think. And then I wrote, maybe it's a trios title. Turns out, no, it was just for the singles match. And then Joe answered, and he accepted the challenge for Shibata. Shibata said some stuff in Japanese, and it's Garcia versus Shibata 3 on the tailgate brawl. And then later on, they would add Joe and Hobbs against the Workhorsemen. Okay. Don Callis does the intros, and he does a really long one for Josh Alexander, called him the Pride of Toronto. And then he does his usual one for Hechicero, not quite as over the top as usual. and they're wrestling.
This was over the top because they're doing the tight close-ups of his mouth and angle things. They're getting more ridiculous.
I might have skipped it then. Maybe I'm not sure.
Oh, you got to go back and watch this because the ridiculousness of this bit must be watched to be believed.
Well, he's gonna like burst a vessel at some point doing this.
Well, yeah, but they were doing that. But now the cameraman is doing like tight shots of his mouth where you can see if he has good dental work or not.
So yeah, it was those two, Josh Alexander, Hechicero against Top Flight. Winners are getting into the 4-way ladder match. Fans were lightly chanting "Walking Weapon" at some point. The Acclaim took most of the match, but at one point they screwed up a double team move, nearly dropped Josh on his head, and then Darius took an elbow and they thought he was knocked out, and Dante wrestled the rest of the match by himself. Hechicero distracted the ref. Then he hit Dante with a leg guillotine and got the win. It was there. That was all just a setup for what would happen after the match. So Dante gets in the ring, or Darius gets in the ring, checks on his brother. Archer showed up with Rocky, and eventually they got Daniels 4-on-1 in the ring surrounded. So Sky, I wrote down Sky and Jet Speed. Oh yeah, Scorpio Sky and Jet Speed showed up, and now it's
Sky Blue and Jet Speed.
Yeah. Too many skies. Not much heat for this. Everyone's waiting for Hangman. So out come the Bucks, then out come Brodito. The odds are even again. I should point out that Brodito, because they didn't wrestle tonight, were in street clothes, and Brody is wearing, I don't know if they were pajamas or sweats, but they were like multicolored, like yellow and blue, and
he rode on the plane with this because of comfort, and then he left off the didn't change once he got
Tony,
there.
Get out there. It's like, okay. So anyways, he did a dive onto like a dozen people, took them all out, and then a bunch of people brawled to the back. So now we're left in the ring, and it's just Lance Archer and Rocky, and Lance laid out Daniels with a boot. Rocky tossed him in the ring. Danielson is aghast, and he says that Archer should be fined. Well, you're the guy that does the fines, Brian. You can fine him. He said they're beating on Daniels 2-on-1, and finally Hangman comes out to save him. And I pointed out this is the guy that retired him. Callis bailed. Hangman fought off the heels by himself. Clothesline Archer out of the ring. Out comes Fletcher, but Hangman's ready for him. But then Rocky grabbed his leg, and Fletcher started beating the shit out of him, beat on him with punches. Tony Schiavone says it took the entire Don Callis family to jump Hangman. And this is like the biggest lie he told since he called Nitro like the biggest show on TV, because there was 3 guys out there. Like most of the Don Callis family were nowhere near the ring at this time, but whatever. I wrote down all the names of people that weren't there. It's not important. Rocky and Archer grabbed a table, set it up outside the ring. Hangman reversed the suplex attempt. Bryan Danielson is losing his mind because he does not want Hangman to take this suplex through the table because it's what took out Kenny. Like Danielson did a great job here. He went for a buckshot. Kyle laid him out with the belt. Then he set up the brainbuster and he hit it. And Danielson is screaming, no, someone's got to stop this. Excalibur says it's the same move that took out Kenny Omega. And Excalibur points out that Hangman's on himself. We may have a new AEW men's world champion on Saturday. And I like the angle. Now, the only problem with this is the exact same thing they did to Kenny, who's going to be out for months, and Hangman presumably is going to be wrestling in 3 days. So that is a tiny...
And he will show no damage on this probably either.
Well, hopefully he does, but yeah, you're probably right. So I assume he was taken out on a stretcher, and Fletcher didn't lie. Like he said, you're not going to leave on your own power. We didn't get to see that because the show was over, but maybe someone will report what happened. But yeah, I great angle to close the show. I had a lot of fun. I just didn't like Tony Schiavone lying to me, but Bryan Danielson more than made up for it with his sell of the angle. Like he is so good on commentary. I enjoy him so much.
I mostly agree. There are times where I think he gets bogged down in trying to tell a story, and you're just like, Brian, just call the match, man.
Well, he's that fine line between analyst and fan in a way.
Yes.
Yeah. So And I don't think he necessarily knows where everything is going either, which can be a plus. You want to run down this card?
I do.
Okay. The 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl. Harley Cameron, Mina, Aminata, Willow versus Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and Julia Hart and Sky Blue. It doesn't matter who wins this.
With the fans win. We all win.
Yeah. Probably the baby faces. Willow should get the pin, honestly.
Yeah. They may give it to Harley.
Well, whoever gets the win should be next for whoever wins the title, I would hope. At the very least, get a match with Mercedes. But
yeah, probably.
But they'll probably just keep having these wild brawls for the next 6 months until they finally do Blood and Guts.
Probably.
Daniel Garcia and Katsura Shibata. Obviously, Garcia's got to win this, right?
Mm-hmm. Probably with Marina Shafir interference of some way.
Yeah. Or Wheeler. I could see Wheeler getting booted out of the Death Riders. If Daniel's in, I don't know. We'll see. The Ops, which is Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs against the Workhorsemen. Obviously, the Workhorsemen are taking the pin.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Somebody thought they saw me there. I'm a long way from Toronto. Sorry, I'm distracted. Okay, main card. What do we think is the main event? The world title match?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'll just do them in the order Wikipedia has them here. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage against FTR. It's got to be CNC Wrestle Factory, right?
Hometown Boys, I think so. Yeah, and I think we get the obligatory Beth Phoenix entrance to take out Stoke.
I hope so.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of an overbooked mess. Although part of me thinks FTR wins and Cage just tells Cope to go F himself in case, or maybe right after the match.
Yeah,
Cage goes and kicks Cope in the balls or something again.
And then we get another Christian Cope match at some point.
Possibly, yeah.
Hurt Syndicate against Ricochet and Gates of Agony. I guess the winner here probably depends on what's happening with Hurt Syndicate. I'll just go with the easy one. I think Bishop Khan is the guy that you want to get the pin, and probably should pin Lashley, but he probably will pin Shelton, would be my guess.
I think MVP is probably eating the pin because I think Shelton may be kept around and they want to go off on good terms with Lashley.
Yeah. Well, I do think that Shelton's sticking around, and that's why I think he'd be the one taking the pin. But
okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, he could even churn on his group and join up with Ricochet, but I hope that doesn't happen. Mercedes,
that would be fun. I'll take a Ricochet Shelton team too, somewhere down the road too.
Oh, that'd be a great team. Now that you just mentioned, I wasn't even thinking that, but yeah. Mercedes and Riho. Riho loses and disappears.
Well, yeah, but it's the WWE booking though. Riho took such a beating at the end. It's got me thinking that maybe as a favor to one Kenneth Omega that we give Riho another title run here.
And she starts losing those 9
belts. She starts losing her belts. Yeah. But we've been saying that for a while. I can't see it, but I can see it. But I still think it's Mercedes.
God, there's a lot of matches on this show.
Yes.
John Moxley and Darby Allin in a coffin match. I think Darby has to win.
Darby wins and Moxley comes back strong on Wednesday to do something because it just doesn't matter that you kill the Death Riders.
Or the Death Riders freaking blow up the coffin or something after the match. Yeah. MJF and Mark Briscoe in a tables and tax match. Okay. People think that Mark Briscoe's winning this. He is not winning this match. MJF is winning.
No way in hell.
Really? So we're
no. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Yeah. Because Briscoe is gonna win. I'm telling you, it's gonna.
He's winning the ring. It's gonna be the ring.
I'm the only one saying this, and
no, I'm with you.
Yeah, at some point, everyone's gonna catch up to what I've known for the last 3 months. Timeless Tony against Hayter and Statlander and Tekla. I'm going with Tekla. I think Tekla's winning the belt.
I have this nagging feeling that Statlander's leaving as a Death Rider with the title.
That could happen. I think Tony's losing it. I'm almost sure Tony's losing the title.
Yes, I am too, and she's going to take some time off. But man, Tony Khan loves him some Chris Statlander.
Yeah, for God knows what reason.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, and the thing, yeah, and if she's in the Death Riders, then that makes sense, especially if Moxley loses, because then he could take some time off, and and she could almost be like the alpha female or something.
And I think Marina may get 86 out of the Death Riders with Yuta when it happens too.
So Garcia and Statlander replacing those two, yeah, maybe, because Marina is Moxley's girl, so
right.
Yeah. Okay, I'll skip that one because we think
I saw how you looked at Roddy.
yeah, my husband, the father of my children. My finisher is called Mother's Milk. Who do you think's the father? All right. Okada's doing Okada against Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. I think Okada's retaining and pinning Dorada.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the only finish. I mean, it's possible Takeshita pins Dorada and gets Okada's belt without him actually losing it, but I think that's lame.
Yeah, go ahead.
Eddie Kingston, Big Bill. Obviously, Eddie.
Kingston's going to kill that fool.
Yeah, Eddie should probably be going for the title by the end of the year, maybe in a TV match, but you want to get that.
Should this be the opener to get the pop out of the way, or should this be halfway through the show to wake the crowd up?
I would put it at the start of the show.
I agree.
If it was me. Yeah, because Eddie's done that before, and he's always delivered in these opening matches. So the 4-way tag. I think this match goes just as the WWE show is starting. If I'm trying to book to keep fans around watching, that's what I would do. And it's Brodito, the Young Bucks, Jet Speed, and Hechicero and Josh Alexander in an 4-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team belts. I think the Bucks are winning.
I got Brodito retaining, and somehow they get the Bucks out of there with the money, and then the Bucks are going to win in a 1-on-1 match. They're not going to win this way.
If Brodito retains here, I think they're probably the odds-on favorite to win Tag Team of the Year, which is probably not fair, but we know the Observer voters. So
anti-WWE bias, yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. And then the main event, we think Hangman and Kyle Fletcher. And
I have calculated a finish to this while we've been talking.
The main event?
Yes. Go ahead, though.
No. I was just going to say I really want Fletcher to win. I just don't think he's going to.
I don't either. And I think the stip about the TNT title does get executed because I think Okada comes out during this match to interfere, because Okada gives no F's about anybody else in the family, doesn't care about Fletcher's title, has his own title, and wants the world title. So then it becomes one of those things where, yes, we get tension because a bigger dog in the Callis family comes out.
And then you could do Okada and Page at one of these upcoming pay-per-views. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
and then maybe Okada leaves the Callis family and goes back to the Elite.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember Okada. I mean, they could always do some sort of weird thing where Okada is under contract with both the Elite and the Callis family. So technically,
or again, like he could cost Kyle the match, and then Don Callis fires him. And and everyone thinks Takeshi's turning babyface, but maybe it's actually Okada that's going to leave the group.
Possibly.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you could do the exact same thing with Takeshita and set him up to face Hangman down the road too. So, but the thing is with Takeshita is he may be IWGP champion in the next, because I think he's fighting for that title next month, and I think he's kind of favored to win. So, he may not be in the cards for AEW, whereas Okada very much is. So, yeah. So that's that. That's Saturday on. We said we weren't going to go long. Well, we went our usual time, which is good since the show was an hour longer. So yeah, that show is on Saturday. Jeremy Finestone and Garrett Gonzalez will be doing the post-game show on this Fight Game Media YouTube channel. So they'll probably be on about 20 minutes after the pay-per-view ends, I think. Check out the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. Garrett will set reminders. So they could be doing it even later in the day. And then I'm going to be on with Keila Cash reviewing the WWE show. And so I think we'll be going about a half hour after that show ends. right here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel. So you can check that out. I haven't done a pay-per-view recap show in a while, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And then Jeff, what do you got going on?
Shake them ropes. Don't know when we're recording, but we will be previewing both major shows. Chris hated NXT Homecoming, but he has not yet given me his Vader Club pick. So that will be something to wait for. Why not? He did get cleared for shoulder surgery though, so he's happy. So we may have a happy show. That will drop on. I'll drop sometime later this week on either the Voices of Wrestling mega feed or Shake Them Ropes' own RSS feed.
All right, and I'll be back on Monday with Garrett. In addition to doing that post game show, and we'll be talking about whatever big news comes out of these. Or no. Is that show this weekend? Yeah. So we'll be talking about whatever big news comes out of the pay-per-view. I just dawned on me. Yeah, shit. But actually, this weekend is good because there's no UFC. So I just spent the last 20 minutes previewing the show. Is that show this weekend? God, I'm stupid. All right. For Jeff Hawkins, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been the Dynamite Show.